Jim, I don't know if you remember, but in the spring, Nick Herbig talked about the fact that he wasn't happy with the impact he had on the defense a year ago, and he set some lofty goals. I'm just curious, 4 games in, how you think he's performing overall.
Tremendous growth from Nick. Kind of felt it going in the spring. You know, that position is a lot in this defense, and what we asked him to do. And he said you're playing a 3-4 outside backer and essentially a 4-down defensive end. And to be able to do what he did as a freshman is extremely impressive. With that being said, he realized the opportunities he left out there and the growth that he could continue to do just from an understanding standpoint of what we do and just knowing the different positions, right? It's one thing learning an entire playbook as a freshman, and it's another thing learning what actually happens on game days. And, proud of him. He's been huge for us week in and week out. On top of the energy he brings, the playmaking, he's right on the edge. You're getting a couple strip sacks this last game, and just being a great teammate right now and a great leader for this team.
Jim, what are the biggest challenges to facing the style of offense that Army plays? And for as good as your defense has been so far, are there specific things you think they have to do differently in order to have success this week?
I mean, I think it always starts out with the physicality and the commitment to a style of play. And obviously, you play an academy, especially Army, like that's what they are. They know who they are. They know what they do. They're going to roll it out there every week and be as physical as possible and make you earn it. And they're very patient in what they do. So you got to find ways to create negative plays. You got to tackle well. You have to get off the field on 3rd down or 4th down. Like you understand you're going to play a lot of 4th downs if you don't get them behind the chains. So he said to me, it's you see a true commitment to a style of play, and they're executing at a high level right now. They have multiple playmakers that they can put the ball in their hands, and just forces you to be assignment sound. But you got to do all the little stuff consistently over and over, right? Play in and play out against this team, and then you got a chance to slow them down.
You've played a number of run-oriented teams already, so I guess it's not as big of a stylistic switch for you. But I've heard other schools kind of worry about when they're playing an academy, playing Army or Navy, without an off week in advance. It's just kind of tough to prepare for it. Just how difficult is it to kind of go from what you've been doing to these guys, then going back to conference play after that?
Yeah, we had the approach. We really started this prep in the spring. And you touched on it again as coaches and players in the summer and fall camp. So it's far from beginning right now. You have to, especially knowing that you didn't have a week to prepare in season. So the guys have heard everything we're talking about. They've seen it. They understand kind of the issues and why you have to do things a certain way. And now it's having that 1 week of prep to get it done, right? You got to be clean on Saturday. But, yeah, we spent a lot of time as coaches kind of going back into the spring and summer, really knowing that this week it's go time. And I'm excited. I think our guys, it'll be a plan that they can execute and play well and play fast, play with confidence, and that's what you need to do first and foremost. And so we've played a lot of teams that have been committed to the run, and, I like our guys. I like the matchups, and there is an element of playing option football that you have to fit the schemes the right way, but you got to do a little bit more. So I like the way our guys are playing with that aggressiveness, and you have to give them the flexibility to do that within a scheme, and they have to understand when they can and kind of when they can't based off of what they're seeing.
Jim, for the defensive backs, especially on the outside, is the challenge here to not get lulled to sleep? Because this team really only throws 6-7 times a game, but they're trying for big plays when they do throw.
Yeah, in all reality, it's similar to what we've seen. You know you're going to get a handful of shots down the field. They're going to force you to tackle, right? They're going to force you to play with great eye discipline, and when they test you down the field, you got to win. That's how we've been getting tested most weeks anyway. Obviously, it's going to look a little bit different for them and feel a little bit different for them, but there's an element of you can't get bored seeing the same looks, doing the same things, because everything builds off of each other. They do a great job with this offense, and they said our guys have to be up to the challenge, play in and play out, and just continue to execute.
You mentioned Herbig, getting close to strip sack. I think there was a play, might have been Illinois' first series, where ran a stunt inside and got right in the quarterback's face. Does a play like that where he hits the quarterback early have a chance to leave the quarterback unsettled, to send that quarterback a message that we're going to come after you all day? Because their quarterbacks never appear to get comfortable.
Yeah, there's no question when you can apply early pressure, that affects people. And whether it's a coordinator calling a game, you see they get a little bit more conservative sometimes, or understand they have to protect the quarterback a little bit, or a quarterback just kind of getting jittery in the pocket, maybe getting the ball out a little quick, not getting through progressions too fast, trying to speed up his process. But yeah, it was definitely a situation where it felt like early in that game, we got them on their heels and were able to attack, and then we could mix in different coverages and disguises, and we got to capitalize on turnovers. We had multiple opportunities for interceptions again and couldn't get it done, but that's what you hope happens, right? And Keanu was free the first play, and then Herbig comes up with a big hit on the third down. Obviously, you get a team going over to the sideline after the first possession, got some issues to work through, and that's where we like to try to cause problems rather than just react, and a lot of that comes down to our guys just making plays and being disruptive.
Jim, one of the things Paul said after the Illinois game was that he had challenged the group during the week to give the defense a lead to play with. As a coordinator, how does that impact what you call in a game? Does it allow the defense to do things differently, whether it's be more aggressive or anything when you've got a lead like you did against Illinois?
Yeah, I think it can go a couple different ways, right? It allows you to play a little more free sometimes, feeling like you can attack. But you also have to understand the offenses usually get more aggressive as well, right? So it's still a balance of trying to see kind of what their mentality is. You always have that feeling when you get a lead, and especially the way that game was going, right? Long possessions, our offense controlling the ball, you know that they're going to get a little impatient, and you get an offense more than anything playing out of rhythm, right? When there's that big of gaps. If you can come out like we did and go 2, 3 and outs, and all of a sudden, I think we played 12 plays on defense. You looked up, there was 5 minutes left in the half. It's hard to create any type of rhythm as an offense. 2, 3 and outs, and then a backed up where they started on the 2. Like, you're going into halftime going, man, like, you feel really good about what you're doing on defense, and you know that offense really hasn't even gotten started yet. And so that is always fun when our offense is controlling the ball and flipping field position and stuff like that. We just understand the more quick possessions we can give, that causes a lot of stress on the other team's defense, and just keeps an offense out of rhythm. There's adjustments we were able to get to halftime that you hadn't even had to do yet, right? And we were already thinking, kind of moving the chess pieces on them, because if they did have a beat on certain things, this is how we're gonna adjust in the second half. So just allows you to kind of stay a step ahead when you got a lead, and just feel more comfortable to kind of mix and match what you're doing, understanding that it's hard for teams to play patient when they don't have that rhythm.
Jim, offenses track drop passes. Do you guys do the same thing with interceptions? And do you have that number? And what's your conversation with guys about like that?
It's not something that's necessarily that I track, but at some point it's getting a little ridiculous, man. We got to catch the ball, and it's taking advantage of the opportunities. And hit the group yesterday and after the game, like, it didn't matter today, right? It didn't matter on that day, but we've been in games already this year where it did. Causing 1 or 2 of those turnovers make all the difference in the world, and you have to take advantage. It's a consistency thing. The opportunities are going to vary. They're going to come at different times in the game. Said you get a team that has to be more aggressive down the field. Well, those opportunities are, they're there a little bit more often. So to me, it comes from a frustration because it's not like it's every day. They're going out there capitalizing on their opportunities and creating turnovers all week long. We got to get it done on Saturday, and we got to finish those plays because, like I said, there's weeks. There's already been weeks this season where that key turnover changes everything.
Jim, I know he's on the other side of the ball, but how have you seen a guy like Ches Maluzzi come in and kind of Paul mentioned being himself, but become a leader of the team, even though he's only been here since June?
To me, I think it's the confidence that I see him kind of playing with, and you really see his personality come out a little bit more on the sideline and stuff like that. Whereas early, you could tell he was just trying to feel everybody out, and I know I got to take care of my job. I got to understand what's going on around me. I think to me the biggest flip that I've seen the last few weeks is just that confidence. Like you see him walking and you're like, all right, I like that kid. You know, I like the look in his eye and just how he's attacking everything. And you know, all credit to him. You know, to come into a new situation, and like I said, there's a point where you just kind of know your role and prove who you are. And like I said, I think now we're reaping the benefits of him growing confidence and trust in the guys around him and just playing more free and playing more aggressive.
In that regard, when you see Braylon run the ball the way he did Saturday, how much do you kind of think what if, and what kind of debate was there in the offseason in terms of where he was going to play starting off?
What kind of what if? No, obviously Braylon he's a different athlete. And, you know, both sides felt like he had the opportunity to help in a big way. And obviously the offense won that battle. You know, it's nice having an offensive head coach, isn't it? But obviously we're proud of Braylon. We knew he was going to be a big, impactful player in this program, whichever side of the football he stepped on. I still talk to him to this day. You know, every time our offense is sitting on the bench, we're on the field. So, you know, we'll find a way somehow to steal him back at some point.